Hi, I'm Gal Fields and I'm currently the mayor of Lakeland. I was born and raised here in Lakeland, the oldest of three children. Parents Robert and Nadine Fields and my wife Kay and I have enjoyed being in Lakeland the time that we have. And for me it's been my entire life. For hers has been coming here as moving from another state. We've raised three children in this community. We operate a business in downtown Lakeland and we've enjoyed both our community service and our public service. I have a number of interests. Recreationally, I love golf and being outdoors, love working with youth, enjoy volunteering in other ways in the community, whether it be mentoring youth or working in my fraternity on community service projects, but just in a variety of capacities. Doing things that help build up this community have always been important to me. That is really what led me to begin looking at a way to serve in public office. It was really an extension of my community service here at the local level. I've served for 17 and a half years on the City Commission, followed by 4 years on the City Commission as mayor, finishing up that first term. I've had a chance to impact the community in a variety of ways, leading a number of initiatives on improving things that need to be taken care of in the community throughout Lakeland. During those 17 years that I represented Northwest Lakeland, there were a number of things that were done in fulfilling some promises that had been made in the past in this community that I helped make sure came to light. And I took those experiences and lessons learned on how to get things done and began to use that to assist in some of the other areas of the community that needed some improvements. Some of those improvements have been in the Westgate and the Central Avenue community. Some have been in the Parker Street areas just north of downtown and in North Lake Wire community, also bordering on downtown. I sat on the original Downtown Plan Steering Committee, making sure, just as a community liaison, I was representing the community as just a stakeholder to the City Commission on what needed to be done to begin making some of the improvements in the late 80s to downtown Lakeland. And I've stayed engaged in the process of improving the community's bedroom, but also looking for ways to improve the whole community. That's really what my time as mayor has been about. When I came in serving as mayor, the airport emotionally and the aviation community were on their backs. Today we see a much healthier and vibrant airport. We see a reinvigorated Sun and Fun. We have the partnership with the Polk County School Board, with the Aviation Academy that is there, and a lot of the private investments that have taken place there. Today the airport as a whole, with all of its ups and downs, is now the 8th largest employer in this county if you include all the businesses that are there. We've seen a number of improvements happen in downtown. A number of businesses to come here over the years, and in spite of the economic downturn, we've continued to do the things that we needed to do to protect the corridors and the entrances in the downtown while we waited patiently, as the government should, for market conditions to improve, and we were at a place where we could attract capital and ideas from business owners and investors that were willing to put their capital into downtown again. And we're starting to see that happen again today. We've also worked hard to make sure that we supported our higher education institutions. Florida Southern College and Southeastern University, Kaiser and Polk State College are among the leaders in that regard, both on the number of students they serve and the specialty focuses that they have within their educational portfolio. We're seeing them hit their stride as institutions. They, along with the arts organizations, are helping us to set Lakeland apart. Florida Polytechnic becoming Florida's 12th state university, as it's coming out of the ground and getting ready to come online with their specialty focus that they're going to bring to the table as well, is going to be a good fit into our higher education portfolio and is going to help us as we distinguish Lakeland going forward. Lastly, of the things that I think are important to point out on this first term as mayor, when I began, Lakeland was really an afterthought to the Orlando and the Tampa communities. When things needed to be dealt with on a regional level, making sure that Lakeland's interests were included in the region interests. Well, that has changed significantly during my time as mayor. I have a direct personal relationship with both mayors of both Orlando and Tampa and the other major cities in the I-4 corridor. I have served a term as president of the Florida League of Mayors, as I've served on the board of directors of the Florida League. That has been important to help move Lakeland to a position of respect along the I-4 corridor of communities, and now it's an opportunity for us to take that to another level so that Lakeland is looked to as a leader in the I-4 corridor as we look for how we're going to continue to grow and prosper this community for those that are already here, those businesses that are already here, while we still remain attractive for those that are looking for a good place to come that is business friendly, willing to be flexible, and willing to recruit and be a magnet for talent, ideas, and entrepreneurial spirit. And I believe Lakeland is a special place in its progression, and I believe we can build on that momentum, and I want you to consider returning me to office so that we can keep moving forward and doing that for the entire community. If you grace me with being re-elected to represent you as your mayor, I plan to build on the momentum that we finished doing in this first term in office. There were a lot of promises that were made by those that came before me, and my time in public office has been about fulfilling those promises so that you could look me in the eye and I could tell you promises were made and promises were kept. What I promised to do when I took office was to improve Lakeland Electric's responsiveness to the public. We've done that, and we've improved our financial rating to get it back to where it was when Lakeland Electric was at its highest point in our past. Today, we're the 25th largest public utility in the country. We're the 3rd largest in the state of Florida, and we're rated among the top 5 for our ability to make sure you're getting reliable electricity to you on a regular basis, including when things happen from natural disasters and weather events that can occur. That is an important thing to remember because you need us to do our best every day for you. And those are one of the promises that I made, and I believe we've done a good job of making sure that we came through on that. We've also promised other improvements, making sure that we improved our ability to communicate with you. When I came in office, we were not using Facebook, we were not using Twitter, we did not have a YouTube channel. We've made improvements in all 3 of those arenas. We're also making sure that we give you time to meet face-to-face with your elected leaders. We have brought back town hall meetings during my time as mayor, and I've also given you, the public, a chance to interact with me directly in mornings with the mayor that we advertise and do around the community periodically. And we also do evenings with the mayor so that organizations and groups that want me to come in the evening, I give them that opportunity to ask whatever they want to talk about so that I can be responsive to them, both in a low-tech but high-touch manner, but also we're improving our ability to reach out to you in a high-tech way as well so that you can receive your information from your city in the way you would like to receive it that's most responsive to you and your needs. I believe that I work for you, and that's why it's important that whatever I tell you I'm going to do, that I follow through on doing it. And I've built a track record of promises that have been made have been promises that have been kept, and being responsive to you. Because again, I know and understand deeply that I work for you and you're the boss. In order for me to make the time that was necessary to truly be responsive to the many stakeholders throughout this community, because there are many and there are different groups, and it takes time to be where you need to be, I've had to make some sacrifices. I had to let coaching go. Although I love working with youth, that was something that I had to let go and put my mentoring time in a little different role than what I was accustomed to doing before. It is not easy to balance it. The technology certainly helps, but it is just a commitment and something that I love to do, being a resource to help this community and the various people and stakeholder groups throughout the community so that they know that they have a voice in this community, they have an ear in their elected official, that their chief elected official is going to listen to them and be responsive to them, and then follow up with the appropriate information and or answer. That means if we need to make some changes at City Hall, I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to take the ideas that come from the public and from the business community and from not-for-profit organizations or just individual people who came up with an idea of how we could do things better. I want to make sure that we incorporate those ideas in how we run your city in our effort to be responsive to you. That has actually made the job easier, spending more time with you than it would be if I didn't. And so I understand that while it seems like a trade-off in one regard, it actually helps make the job a little bit easier in return on the other hand. But it is important to use the technology to balance that and making sure that I'm meeting everyone's needs and expectations while also making sure that I can spend time at home as I need to and time in my business as I need to as well. It is not an easy balancing act, but it's one that I think is well worth it for what we see and the results coming forward in the City of Lakeland. I believe I've done a great job so far in the office as mayor. I believe I've been responsive. I've listened when it was time to listen. When it was time to work toward building a consensus, I've worked toward doing that. When it was then time to make a decision, sometimes the decisions have been unpopular, but when it was time to make a decision, I've been willing to do that and to do so decisively. I believe that you as the voters deserve to have an elected official who's going to be responsive to you, hear you, know what your concerns and priorities are, whether it has to do with Lakeland Electric remaining in the ownership of the public, or whether we continue to treat downtown as the community's living room and it belongs to everyone. I'm willing to hear from everyone, but then when it's time to make a decision in the best interest of the entire community, I'm willing to do that. I believe the thing that really sets me apart is that I keep my promises to you, I'm willing to hear from you, and then I'm willing to take what I learned from you and put it into meaningful action that is going to benefit you. That means economic development ideas that you've brought to me, I've been able to deploy it in programs and policies that the community has benefited from in the economic development activity that we have seen taking place. Our community has done better on the industry and job creation front than our Tampa and Orlando counterparts during a very difficult economic downturn. That is saying a lot, that the leadership in your community can work with you in a partnership and give you a better community even in the midst of a difficult economy. I want you to check out my website, electgal.com, and know that I believe in you and I want you to continue believing in me, that I will do my best day in and day out to be responsive to you, to hear from you, and then to take the input that you've given me and give you a better government that is more responsive to you going forward. We've got some great momentum coming out of a difficult economic downturn. We can build on that, and we can continue to distinguish Lakeland as Florida's strategic location in this I-4 corridor of communities, and that's going to continue to be attractive to companies that are here today as they build on their prosperity. It's going to continue to make this community attractive to companies that want to establish a presence in this community. It's going to continue to help us to be attractive to the entrepreneurial spirit and the ideas that are coming forward and the young talent that is interested in being in a place that is cool and receptive and inviting and willing to give everyone a chance to enjoy a great quality of life right here in the middle of Central Florida, one of the best places to live in the entire country. Lakeland has it all, and I believe I'm the leader that's going to keep the promises that are made to you and represent you. That is everyone. Every voice is going to be heard, and do so decisively, with a steady hand, but also with a loving hand to make sure that we continue moving forward together as one community. Thank you. Again, I ask for your vote and your support, and please visit our website at electgal.com. Thank you.